What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the PS5 career mode. This is episode number 3. And we start today's episode off doing some scouting. Yes, in the first 2 episodes you guys gave me a ton of awesome transfer targets to keep our eyes on with QPR, and thank you so much for all the comments in the first 2 episodes. You guys are my scouts, so I need all these recommendations for future players to sign, and we're taking a look at some today. Starting with Ravel Morrison, who was recommended to me. Of course, had a stint at QPR, seems to be quite well loved there at the Kiyan Prince Foundation Stadium, formerly known as Loftus Road. Charlie Kirk of Crewe Alexander, very good shout there as well. So Manon 61 said get Charlie Austin back. He was great for QPR during the 3 years he spent there. Really good shout, although his wages are incredibly high, so they'll need to come down first. DC Dane said Flynn Downs for central midfield, or Luke Wolfenden as a ball-playing centre-back, both playing for Ipswich Town, and I've got a few fans that support the Tractor Boy, so I'm sure they'll be pleased with either. And BC said look at Jack Byrne from Shamrock Rovers, he'd be perfect. That is a fantastic shout. Formerly of the Manchester City Academy, despite being so young, he's bounced around a bit, and also I think that's quite realistic too. He's contemplating leaving the League of Ireland and going back to the Football League, or possibly the SPL, maybe on a free transfer as his contract's up coming the end of the year. And my final recommendation was Connor Chaplin, who of course we had in our Huddersfield Town career mode a few years ago as well. The only problem with that is that we've only got £1 million in our budget. So whilst those are really good shouts there, I'm not entirely sure we'll be able to pull off any of those guys in the summer transfer window, but definitely players we'll be scouting and keeping our eyes on for January as well, especially Jack Byrne. I must say that was a fantastic shout there. I mean, they're all great shouts, but Jack Byrne in particular, because again, he does have his contract coming the end of the year. He is 23 and older, therefore we can sign on a free transfer, and again, I'd say it'll be quite realistic too, as he is tipped to leave the League of Ireland, leave Shamrock Rovers and return to either the English Football League or the SPL. Regardless, fantastic comments in the last episode and episode number 1. I really appreciate the comments, guys. And again, please keep those transfer targets coming. Let me know in the comment section down below. You guys are my scouts. I need you out there finding me talent for this Queen's Park Rangers team. If not in this summer transfer window, certainly in January and for Season 2 as well. And so for the first game of today's episode here, we will take on Grimsby Town in the EFL Cup 3rd round after making it through the 2nd round, where we saw the start of Charlie Kelman's career at QPR. And I gotta be honest here, forget new players, I'm loving this guy. Charlie Kelman, man, this guy has got it all, it seems. I said back in episode 1, watch out for this young American. I think he could have a breakout season this year. He scored and assisted in the last round, and in the first half of this game had already bagged a brace. The English-born American striker, I've got to say that as well, because when players have dual nationalities, there's always a chance they'll turn out for the nation they're either born in or the other nation they're possibly eligible to represent. You think about Declan Rice and Jack Grealish, for example. The Irish fans have had heartbreak with those 2 players. Declan Rice, of course, was capped 3 times by Ireland, but now represents England at senior level. Jack Grealish also could have represented Ireland as well, played for them at youth level, so there's still a chance Kelman could represent England in the future, as he was born in Basildon in Essex, but he's been capped at youth level by America. He spent a lot of his youth in America too, so he's an English-born American striker, but I think he probably will represent the US of A. Regardless of what country he chooses to play for at international level though, all I'll say is this: I hope he plays his club football at QPR for the indefinite future. So he's the first player of the series to bag a hat-trick. Yes, he scored 2 goals in the first half. We surrendered our 2-goal lead. Sean Scannell got one of them for Grimsby as well. But this guy seems to have it all at just 18 years old. Now, the thing that really excited me most about him when I saw his stats was the pace he's got. He's a really quick player, but he's got superb agility, great balance as well. He seems to have a really low centre of gravity, and his first touch is superb. His positioning is great. He always seems to be in the right area, and his off-the-ball runs are really good as well. The first player of the series to score a hat-trick. I'm really excited about his play style. Duke McKenna, a youngster, also got our 4th goal as well. And whilst with 3 minutes to go, it seemed like the progress was secure. This happened, and I mean, it's one of those goals which I don't want to see again, but I've had to show the replay for comedic effect. But yeah, I've got to be honest here, ricochets and deflections in this year's game, is it just me, or do they always, and I mean literally always, go to the opponent? I mean, yeah, okay, maybe you can say it's bad awareness from myself, you know, don't play back to the goalkeeper from such a short range, when in doubt kick it out, you taught that at junior football, but either way, it just seems like deflections and ricochets literally always go against you this year. Regardless, it doesn't matter, despite Grimsby scoring their 3rd goal, despite only having 2 shots in the entire game, we did hold on for the 4-3 victory, a 7-goal thriller, but we come out on top courtesy of Charlie's hat-trick, first player to ground match ball in the series. And whilst Lyndon Dykes is our out-and-out striker, I do want to get the young English-born American getting a lot more minutes this season. He is going to be our backup striker this year. Macaulay Bonne is going to drop to the reserves, despite the fact he is a few ratings higher, because I'm very, very impressed by the 18-year-old. And so for our second game of today's episode here, looking to make it 3 wins out of 3 in all competitions, taking on Reading, the Royals, after a really good start, both in the game and in real life here at the Kion Prince Foundation Stadium. Our last championship game, a 1-0 victory against Bournemouth, where Omar Richards got his first assist for the club, setting up a Doma. And in this game, taking on his former team, he should have had another one as well. Nice little ball across there to share the Moroccan attacking midfielder. Hits the woodwork though, as we're still tied at 0-0. We've been the better team in this game, created a couple of really good chances, especially with Omar down that left-hand side. With 22 minutes to go, Zhao is sent forward one-on-one, gets in behind the back line and drills it past Kelly and into the far corner as the Royals take the lead here away from home. And I've got to be honest, I'm not really a fan of any of our centre-backs here at QPR. You know, of course, at the start of the season, we were told by the board we need to be rock solid this season and be in the top 5 for fewest goals conceded in the Championship. Well, this is our first defeat of the season, coming at the hands of the Royals here at the Kion Prince Foundation Stadium, and I am not really liking any of our centre-backs at all. I don't have any faith in either Dickey or Barbet, who suffered a bruised shoulder injury in that game as well. Second knock of the season already, but again, I like that. I want to see more injuries coming. That's why the slides have been adjusted. And also Conor Masterson, I know I gave him a contract extension at the start of the season, and Gubbins is our 4th choice, but he's only like 51 overall. Yeah, I definitely think we need to get a new centre-back in for the January transfer window, that's for sure. But still, transfer deadline day came straight after the defeat here, and as you can see, SV Sandhausen wanted to take Kelman on a loan deal with a potential clause to buy him in the future, and I was like, no. No, don't even waste my time. Blocked offers there. But you see Faisal Betache, not sure how you pronounce that. He is on his way out, as is the man I just mentioned there, Joe Gubbins, 4th choice centre-half. I know he's only 19 years old, but 51 overall. Hey, he could have some decent potential, but let's be honest here, it's going to take a long, long time before he starts to show it. So I'm happy to let him go. And as part of being part of the backline that shipped free against Grimsby Town, I'm okay letting him go, as well as Faisal. They both have their deals up come the end of the year. And as I said, I'm always going to give some of these players chances to have their deals come to the end of the year. And I still will. There are a couple of players who I don't have much faith in. Those are 2 of them. So I was totally happy letting them go on transfer deadline day. Very small transfer fees. We don't get much money for them, but we just get something, just a little bit back. And of course, every penny counts in an RTG, as I'm sure you're all aware of that. But it's also a bit for Jeff Cameron, the American here. 35 years old now, in the final year of his contract. It was £460,000. Now, I've got no plans to give him an extension. He's 35 years old, 69 rated. Whilst he is a first-team regular in this team, he's not going to stay past this season. Once the year is up, I'll let him go on a free transfer. But I decided to keep him here for realism. You know, I talked about this in the last episode quite heavily. Realism is going to be very, very important throughout the course of this series. And Jeff Cameron is the captain at Queen's Park Rangers. He's regularly in our first 11 as well. I didn't think it would be a realistic just to sell him in his final year, cash in on him, and give the armband to someone new. I want to keep him as the captain for the final year, then let him go on a free transfer come the end of the season and give the captain's armband to someone else permanently for season 2 onwards. Maybe we'll find our future captain in season 1, who knows. But yeah, I thought for realism it was best to keep him here, so Jeff stays. So because of that, there was very little to do on transfer deadline day. 2 sales, 2 of our youngsters with very low overalls, and that was it. We left the rest of the money as we got it right now. It's about $1.25 million in our transfer budget right now to save until January. And I did put 3 players in our youth academy as well. Alan, Kai Seymour, and also Edward Burton as well. Very low overalls these 3 players have got, although we do have one player having 5-star skill moves, you might have noticed, which is kind of cool, but very low overalls. Not too sure they'll have much potential either, but we'll have to wait and see. I just wanted some youth players in our academy because, as you can see, we've got very, very little squad depth here at QPR, and in the Championship playing 46 games throughout the course of the season, plus cup games as well. Yeah, we'll need a few more players in our squad, and the academy is the best place to get them, it seems, for QPR due to a lack of funds. But still, for our 3rd game of today's episode, first game outside the transfer window, this was really interesting. This game was taking place during an international break, and when international breaks come around, the Championship and the Premier League go away for it as well. So both the top tier and the second tier of English football take a break whilst there's an international break as well, whilst League 1 and League 2 continue to play, and also the leagues lower down in non-league as well. But for some reason, we were playing. Maybe due to the coronavirus pandemic, who knows? Maybe we had to soldier on due to the fixture congestion we'll have. So we had to play this game here, missing 3 of our players. Nico was away, as was Liam Kelly and Lyndon Dykes as well. 2 of our starters, the Scottish players, away. play, and also our Finnish left back regularly on the bench as well. They were both away on international duty. We had to play without these 3 players, but we weren't missing them whatsoever. 45 minutes into the game, we were 2 goals up. Cher got an assist and scored our second as well, connecting with an Omar cross as we led by 2 goals to 0 at Kenilworth Road, and we were just in control in this one. Losing at home to Reading, so disappointed, needed to respond, and respond we did. We were far better than our hosts in this game, played at really good intensity as well, got loads of great chance, probably should have scored a couple more goals, didn't unfortunately, but a 2-0 victory is good enough for me as we're back on track with the win here away from home. And of course that's the really key factor for us this season as well. When we do have a loss or we do have a disappointing result, we need to bounce back instantly. You know, in the championship we're 23 teams, 46 games coming thick and fast. You can't afford to go into a patch of form where you start to feel sorry for yourself, because there are so many teams. The league table is often so congested. If you go into a really bad patch of form and you lose like 3 on the bounce, or you don't win in 5, for example, you can go from like being just outside the playoffs to just above the relegation zone. Like, you've really got to make sure you respond as soon as you can on the back of a defeat, and you can't afford to go into too many bad patches of form throughout the course of a season. That's why the Championship was so fun, man. It's such a competitive division, and yeah, glad to bounce back there with a 2-0 victory. And our final game of the episode was unfortunately a goalless draw at home to Blackburn. Didn't really get to create too many chances in this game, unfortunately. Only had the one Cher firing that shot from distance just wide the post in a goalless draw, but I wasn't too surprised. Blackburn had the joint best defensive record in the division. We also have one of the best defensive records in the division, start the campaign off as well, so I guess a goalless draw is kind of realistic really, and to be expected too. And after back-to-back clean sheets as well, as you can see, 4 wins in our first 8 games, only the 1 defeat so far, and only 6 goals conceded as well, 15 points on the board, just outside the playoffs on goal difference as well, in 7th place. There's a long way to go. It's not been a perfect start, but it's still been pretty impressive, and a lot of positives for sure. But that will end today's episode of the PS5 Career Mode, guys, so a big thank you for watching. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed the episode, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of the PS5 Career Mode very soon.